On the move, he's chased by Mayo to the end zone, touchdown!
Just because a player is good doesn't mean that they're guaranteed the proper recognition that they're due. Despite putting up monster stats and helping their teams win, some guys just never really get that true acknowledgement of how much they're contributing to their teams. Some of the NFL's most consistently productive and impactful players just always seem to fly under the radar. For whatever reason, they just never seem to receive enough love and appreciation for their excellent play on the field. So with that said, let us dive into the 10 most underappreciated players playing in the NFL right now. And hey, huge shout out to Will Hutton1516 for suggesting a similar idea that we decided to tweak a bit. Thank you, Will. Tyler Lockett, the number 69 selection of the 2015 NFL Draft, made his name as a star special teams return man. He was a solid number 3 receiving option for Russell Wilson from 2015 to 2017, but the Kansas City State product began to turn a corner in 2018. Fast forward half a decade later, and he is now one of the most underappreciated players in the game. Consider this, only 4 guys hauled in more receiving touchdowns than Lockett from 2018 to 2022. Those being Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, and Travis Kelce. That is it. That is the list. The only guys who topped Lockett's receiving TDs total of 45. Lockett was once overshadowed by ex-teammate Doug Baldwin. Now he's overshadowed by 5-star receiver DK Metcalf, arguably a top 5 wideout in the game right now. Now, what if we told you that 2022 marked Lockett's 4th straight season of 70-plus catches, over 1,000 yards receiving, and at least 8 touchdown receptions? But when do you ever hear Lockett's name come up in the list of the game's best offensive weapons and playmakers? Almost never. Hey, let's all work on changing that, folks. Lavonte David. It shouldn't have taken Tom Brady's arrival in Tampa Bay for the football world to finally understand and respect David's greatness. The number 58 selection of the 2012 NFL Draft has greatly exceeded expectations, developing as the backbone of the Buccaneers defense for a decade. Through his first 11 NFL seasons, David had 9 seasons of 100-plus tackles. The athletically gifted workhorse has done it all with 29 sacks, 12 interceptions, 59 pass defenses, and 27 forced fumbles. The Buccaneers were totally irrelevant during David's first 8 years with the franchise. Once Brady arrived, Tampa's vaunted defense got more recognition and attention. But as evidenced by the lone Pro Bowl nod and just 1 first-team All-Pro selection, David has been far too overlooked for far too long. The Bucs would not have won Super Bowl 55 without Brady. They also wouldn't have won it without David. His leadership, intangibles, and game-wrecking abilities were also instrumental in bringing this franchise its first championship. Tyler Boyd. Boyd first came into the spotlight when he caught a late game-winning touchdown pass against the Baltimore Ravens in Week 17 of the 2017 season. You know, the TD that eliminated Baltimore from the playoffs while also ending the Buffalo Bills' 18-year postseason drought. Well, as it turned out, that was merely the start of something very special for the speedy wideout. Boyd followed that up with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2018 and 2019, even notching a career-high 7 touchdowns in 2018. The arrivals of T. Higgins and superstar Jamar Chase to accommodate Joe Burrow meant a reduced role for Boyd, hence the whole underappreciated factor. Boyd, when healthy, is still good for 60-plus catches and over 800 yards a season as a WR3. He put up over 800 receiving yards 4 years in a row from 2018 to 2021. Boyd's speed and sure-handedness have made him a special weapon in Cincy for more than half a decade now. Just because he isn't Higgins or Chase, it doesn't give the football world a reason to underappreciate Boyd. I'm just saying. Laramie Tunstall. Tunstall is overlooked for one simple reason. He was the centerpiece of a panic move by then Houston Texans GM and head coach Bill O'Brien back in 2019. Needing offensive line help, O'Brien acquired Tunstall and wide receiver Kenny Stills in a blockbuster move with the Miami Dolphins ahead of the 2019 season. O'Brien dealt away 2 first-round picks plus a second-rounder to make the move work. That was a giant overpay on O'Brien's end. And of course, Houston's 2021 first-rounder wound up being the number 3 pick, which the Dolphins dealt to the San Francisco 49ers. It stinks, we know. But you know, that is not at all on Tunstall. He has held up his end of the bargain since coming to Houston, going from good in Miami to great in H-Town. Tunstall has earned 3 Pro Bowl nods as a Texan, having allowed only 3 sacks since the 2020 season per Pro Football Focus. The Texans have been a train wreck since 2020, so it's easy to overlook guys like Tunstall, especially when they play a position that never gets enough love to begin with. Tunstall is unquestionably a top 10 offensive tackle in the game, and it's time to put a little more respect on this man's name. Jermaine Jermaine Pratt. The Bengals' top offensive players will always get most of the spotlight and attention. That's just how it is. When you think of the Bengals' top defensive players, pass rush specialist Trey Hendrickson immediately pops out. But let's give some love to linebacker Jermaine Pratt, the glue that truly holds the Cincinnati defense together. Pratt low-key broke out for the Bengals in 2022, garnering a superb Pro Football Focus grade of 80.6 on the year. He had 2 interceptions, 10 pass defenses, and 99 tackles. All career best by a country mile. Not only that, but he yielded just a 62.1 opposing quarterback passer rating when targeted, and only 1 touchdown while in coverage. Prior to that, Pratt had given up an opposing passer rating of over 100. But let me tell you, Pratt made the jump to borderline elite in 2022, and there is no reason to think that he won't continue to improve from here. Without his efforts, the Bengals probably don't make a second straight trip to the AFC Championship game. PFF also ranked Pratt as the 20th best linebacker ahead of the 2023 season. That's pretty good, considering that a ton of NFL fans outside of Cincinnati probably wouldn't be able to tell you what team he's on, nor what position he even plays. Kyle Duggar. Many were surprised when Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots took little-known safety Kyle Duggar in round 2 at number 37 overall in the 2020 draft. Duggar certainly wasn't that highly ranked among the defensive backs, and he played at the smaller school of Lenoir-Rhyne. But now we see why Belichick took the chance on Duggar when nobody else had him so early on their board. Per Pro Football Focus, Duggar had a 76.7 grade in run defense and a coverage grade of 78.3 in 2022. He was just one of 4 safeties to grade above 500 in both of those categories, too. Duggar racked up 7 total interceptions and 13 pass defenses over the 2021 and 2022 seasons. And per Pro Football Reference, opposing QBs had a woeful 66.7 passer rating when targeting Duggar in the 2021 season. Devin McCourty's retirement surely hurt the Pats locker room and fan base from a sentimental standpoint. But in terms of the on-the-field aspect, oh, they'll be just fine. Duggar is everything Belichick looks for in a safety, and it's only a matter of time until multiple Pro Bowl and/or All-Pro nods go on his resume. Ryan Ramczyk. Among all active NFL players who have played at least, say, 4 seasons, Ramczyk may be the best one who has yet to earn a Pro Bowl nod. The New Orleans Saints drafted Ramczyk 32nd overall in 2017. He was one of several key members from their Dream 2017 class, along with Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams, and Trey Hendrickson. Again, offensive linemen in general are always overlooked. It's especially been the case for Ramczyk, though, who was overshadowed by major stars like Kamara, Drew Brees, and Michael Thomas. Consider this, Pro Football Focus graded him in the 80s through each of his first 5 NFL seasons. His lowest grade in a single season thus far is 77.9, which he garnered in 2022, which is still Pro Bowl caliber. Ramczyk has consistently been one of the NFL's elite pass and run blockers. As far as individual accolades go, Ramczyk was a first-team All-Pro in 2019 and a second-team All-Pro in both 2018 and 2020. But you never hear his name come up when it's time to discuss the game's premier offensive tackles. If the Saints emerge as a contender again, maybe Ramczyk will start getting more love. Who knows? Justin Simmons. The Broncos have been among the most irrelevant NFL teams since their Super Bowl 50 championship-winning 2015 season. And when the team is irrelevant, it's hard to pay much attention to any of their players. But safety, Justin Simmons has been low-key one of the NFL's premier defensive backs dating back to his age 26 2019 season. Maybe he didn't cut it as a head coach, but Vic Fangio deserves credit for fully unlocking the potential of the 2016 third-round pick. Simmons earned Pro Bowl honors in 2020, as well as second-team All-Pro selections in 2019, 2021, and 2022. He has the second most interceptions since 2019 with 20, only J.C. Jackson being ahead of Simmons during that span with 22. Over that 4-year period, Simmons also racked up an insane pass defense total of 43. Also, his 6 interceptions in the 2022 campaign co-led the NFL. And finally, Simmons has yielded an opposition's passer rating of 84.0 or lower when targeted in 3 of the last 4 years. That included a gross opposing QB passer rating of 43.6 in the 2019 season. Someone is long overdue in the conversation of the NFL's premier safeties by now. Matt Milano. What a gem of a find Milano was in the 5th round by the Buffalo Bills back in 2017. Milano has shared the field with the other stars like Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Von Miller, and previously Tremaine Edmonds. But the Boston College product has been just as vital to the success of the Bills' defense during their rise to power under Sean McDermott. Milano's numbers on paper won't exactly jump out to you. 10.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and just 1 100-tackle season. But don't overlook his 8 interceptions, nor an impressive pass defense total of 37 since his rookie year, including a career-high 11 in the 2022 season. It is Milano's work in coverage that also doesn't get enough love. Per Pro Football Reference, he's only allowed 2 TDs in coverage since 2020. And in 4 of the last 5 years, opposing QBs have combined for a passer rating of 71.9 or lower when targeting Milano. The Bills' secondary is scary enough with White, Poyer, and Hyde. And then you throw in one of football's elite cover linebackers, and it's no wonder teams have consistently struggled to throw the ball on this guy. Milano earned his first career Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro selection in 2022. Perhaps that'll have finally marked the beginning of this guy actually getting long overdue and deserving recognition as a top-tier NFL linebacker. Jared Goff. Make no mistake, Sean McVay is one of the NFL's top quarterback gurus, but it's also clear that Jared Goff was not a product of playing in McVay's QB-friendly system. Goff does not get enough credit for his role in elevating the Los Angeles Rams from the land of irrelevance to annual playoff contention. In 4 years with McVay, Goff posted 4 straight winning seasons and led the Rams to 2 division titles, a wildcard berth, and a Super Bowl 53 appearance. McVay figured that he could do better than Goff, though, hence the 2021 blockbuster trade that sent Matt Stafford to the Rams. Yes, Stafford led LA to his Super Bowl 56 championship in his first season under McVay, but that shouldn't take away any of Goff's accomplishments. The number 1 pick of 2016 was supposed to be a bridge to the Lions' next starting QB, but after a shaky 2021 season, Goff turned in arguably his best season in 2022 with 4,438 passing yards and 29 touchdowns against only 7 interceptions. Goff led the Lions to their first winning season in 6 years, and they only missed out on the postseason because of a tiebreaker. And with the Lions seemingly committed to Goff for the long term, it is probably a good idea to start acknowledging him as a real solid QB. And not just a guy who lost his starting job to Stafford in LA. Quarterbacks in football tend to be rated well or overrated. They are rarely underappreciated, but Goff certainly is right now. But who do you think is the most underappreciated player in the NFL right now? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.